Guided meditations are a really great way to work with your mind. Because the great thing about a guided meditation is you aren't telling yourself what it is that you want to um, think about. You're allowing the voice of someone else speak to you and use that voice and their energy to take you through what they're telling you. So it's kind of like if someone was reading you a story when you were a child. That's was a kind of guided meditation because you were just listening to it and taking it in, and then your imagination was free to make the connections and to um, feel the potency of the words that were coming in. So guided meditations can be very powerful and really great ways to um, find your inner dimension. Because so much of what we're trying to do in yoga is to find the infinity within. We often look at the cosmos and we see the infinity beyond, but that same infinity exists within us. And the more we connect to the depth of that, the closer we come to the yogic concept of Atman, the self. So that's not um, the ego per se. It is that sense of I-ness. And in yoga, what we want to do is connect that little I to the big universal I. And that's why yoga is called yoking, because our yoga comes from the word yoke, because what we are trying to do is essentially yoke the small I with the big I. So that's just a little crash course in yoga philosophy, but it's important to think about those things when even when you're doing a guided meditation, because that is the way that we are connecting to that inner depth. So today I'm going to take you through a guided meditation in Shavasana. And we did a little bit of this earlier in the course, but I'm going to bring it a little bit deeper. So I want you to set up in Shavasana as we did earlier in the course. And I'll again walk you through how to set it up. And then once you're there, I'm just going to speak to you. And hopefully you will then get connected to the sound of my voice and what I'm telling you. And this is a really good thing to do after a yoga practice, or you can also do it when you're lying in bed and just trying to go to sleep. There's a lot of different ways where this guided meditation can really be a great thing. Okay, so to set up in Shavasana, as we did before, we sit on our yoga mat. And so, or you can just do it on the floor, on a rug, whatever you're comfortable in. You want something soft. It really doesn't necessarily matter. Like I said, you could even do it in bed if you wanted to. You'll need a blanket for the back of your head. And then if you have tight hamstrings or it's uncomfortable for you to lie with your legs straight, you can put a blanket underneath your knees. Personally, I like to just lie as flat as possible. Sometimes a little blanket is good just behind the back, the small of your neck. But as we've talked about, we don't want the chin going up too far and we don't want the chin tucked in too far. We want the chin essentially parallel to the floor. And if you're lying down, it'll be perpendicular to the floor. Okay, so to get into this position, you will tuck your buttocks under, roll onto your back, and then slowly come down. Take your blanket And put a small fold right under the small of your back, small of your neck. And then you'll extend one leg out and then the other leg out and let the feet fall lightly to the side. And then I always find that in this position, I haven't really got my back long enough. So then I bring my feet back in and I pick the pelvis up just a little bit more so that when my legs come down, I'm actually lying more comfortably on the back of my pelvis. Okay, so now that you're in this position, I am going to come up and walk you through this guided meditation, but you stay lying down. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is the same thing that we did earlier in the course. You want to begin to feel the weight of your body on the floor. And so to do that, we bring our mind's eye to the different parts of our body. And this is called a body scan meditation. So we did this earlier and we'll do it again. We go starting with our feet. We try to visualize each of the toes, the ankle bone, the Achilles tendon. And as we visualize those, we also try to feel the weight of them in the floor. So then you bring your mind's eye up to your calves, your shins, the back of your knees, the back of your thighs, the front of your thighs, and try to find the place where that connects to the pelvic bowl. At the very root, where a lot of the organs of sex and elimination, find the place where the legs connect at that point. And then from there, move up to the area of the navel, in the front and the back of the pelvis, and feel the weight of the pelvic bones sinking into the floor. Then you move your eye up to the area of the lower ribs, the solar plexus, where the diaphragm connects, and completely release and let go. And then move your attention to your wrists and your hands and your fingers, and see if you can visualize with your mind's eye each finger, the thumb, the front of the wrist, the back of the wrist. And then you visualize with your mind's eye the lower arms, the elbows, the upper arms, the upper arms have three parts. So the place where they connect to the elbows, feel that weight. And move to the middle of the upper arms, where the collarbones connect to the upper arms. Feel that weight. And then the upper shoulders. Drop them to the floor. See if you can visualize your collarbones. The collarbones, heavy and sliding away from you. Now bring your mind's eye to your neck, to the Adam's apple. See if you can release all of the tension in the front and back of the neck around the Adam's apple, and feel that warm sensation as that energy gets released and begins to spread down throughout the rest of your body. Now, bring your attention to your chin, your mouth, the area right below your nose, your ears. Bring your ears slightly in towards each other and then let that go. Completely release that space. Now move your attention up to your eyes. Allow your eyes to be feel like marbles inside your head. Feel the weight of those marble-like eyes. Heavy, relaxed, looking downward, looking in, using that sense of vision, not looking outward, but looking inward. The eyebrows spreading away from each other, the forehead relaxed, and the very, very top of the head connecting to that universal energy, the place where we connect our small self with our large self. And now that you've scanned your body with your mind's eye, begin to watch your breath. Don't try to control it, just watch it as it moves into your body and moves out of your body. And this is just an observation. Where can you feel the breath and where can't you feel the breath? And with both your mind's eye, you're watching the breath as it comes in. You can visualize the breath as a color, a favorite color. See if you can see the breath as a beautiful, beautiful color. You can see the breath as a sound that is very comforting to you. A smell. Using our different senses, we can use that mind's eye, the imagination, and the use of our senses to explore the inner dimensions of our body container. And now, with each inhalation, breathe in and feel that you are bringing in the great, great power of whatever higher consciousness or being you connect with, the great spirit, God, divinity. However you conceive of it, you are bringing that in with your inhalation. And then as you exhale, you are surrendering that small self to the bigger self. Do that for a couple of times. inhale, bringing in the power of that universal force, however you conceive of it. And then exhale, surrender your small self to that larger self. And as you begin to do this, you begin to feel a sense of calm, a sense of wholeness, a sense of fullness, a sense of completeness. And you can lie there for a little bit longer. And when you're ready, slowly roll to the right side. Come to a seated position. Sit back up. Bring your hands together in prayer position. Namaste. I surrender. I salute the universal in you. I see the universal in you, and you see the universal in me. Namaste.